Yeah, like here,
Have him do one.
6 weeks ago.
It's going to be a work.
Yeah.
It's got mold. It's got no way that's bigger. It's got more trees.
I agree. Let's have him start one.
So,
Yeah, let's go ahead and get started.
Usually we're moving as you go.
you don't have to tell Gary, but
Y'all's, your mic's hot.
Yeah, we're gonna call the meeting to order.
Okay.
Let's all put our cell phones on silent and let's do this meeting. Let's stand for the pledge and then the prayer.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas,
one
one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Gary, can we have a prayer?
Sure. Heavenly Father, we come together tonight, Father, just to enter into your courts first, Father, with just thanksgiving. Father, we're so thankful that we were able to sit here at this table tonight and have this meeting, Father, and there is just so much devastation that has just taken place not too far from here, Father. And so our heart goes out to those people and we lift them up to you tonight, Father. Tonight, Father, we also ask that you do what seems right to you tonight in this, Father, and you guide and direct our steps. We thank you for your love, your mercy, and your grace. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Roll call, state your name for the record, please.
Gary Watson, Ward 1.
Jim Wright, Ward 3.
Bud Marandino, Ward 1.
Sherry Mitchell, Mayor.
Jeff Thibodeau, Ward 3.
All right. Any conflict of interest? Any citizens' comments?
Well, that's a first.
Yeah, right along.
There you go. All right, let's, we're going to do our review approved consent items. Can I have a motion to approve our consent items?
I make the motion.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
No, we don't have discussion on consent items,
That's
right?
correct. Next is our review and action items. Our first is consideration, discussion, and approval for a resolution to apply for the CDBG-DRRP, which is Disaster Recovery Reallocation Program. That's a mouthful. Grant, request for a grant administrator to assist in all related necessary actions to apply for and be awarded the grant project. Can I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second,
I second it.
any discussion?
So this is something we're going to have to do each and every time we need a new grant administrator, is that correct?
Correct.
So even though we've already gotten Payne, will this go to someone else?
They can actually apply for it also. Payne can
Okay.
apply for it. The procurement, yeah, but we still can allow somebody else to apply for it. Yes.
Okay.
Any other discussion?
No, we already approved. Right? Did we vote?
We're fixing to vote,
Okay.
yeah. So no more discussion? Can I have a motion to approve? And a second?
A second. We did it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Next item up for consideration, discussion, and approval is a resolution to apply for the TXCDBG-TDA grant. Can I have a motion?
Yes, I'll make that
And a
motion.
second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Now, this is the third grant we're talking about, right?
This is
a
the
new grant.
resolution to apply.
Pardon?
This is the resolution to apply.
So y'all already did a resolution for this one. However, it wasn't done in the format that TDA wants.
We have to redo
wanted
it.
to be. So, have to do the new.
Okay, so we're just redoing what we did last meeting to
Correct.
get
That's
it.
right.
Cleaning up
Dot
some
the i's.
paperwork.
Okay.
Different format.
Yeah.
And on this one, this is the one that we have to pay 2%.
The TDA, yes.
And this is a $750,000.
Yeah.
Yes.
Any more discussion? Can I have a motion to approve?
Make the motion.
Second?
I seconded it.
All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. Up for consideration, discussion, and approval for a resolution, regulating social media on government devices. Can I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion?
If I understand this, this was like if I have city equipment, I can't play games on it.
But it
Or
really
if
has to
I'm
do
working
with
on
it has to do with
city
TikTok,
computer, I can't.
social
It's
media,
aimed directly at TikTok.
TikTok, social
Well,
media,
But it also says other social media stuff.
right.
Yeah,
But
okay.
it's mainly for the city employees,
So
Okay,
this
so-
is just an extension of what the governor passed.
correct.
John.
Okay, so, no, wait a minute. So, we were talking about creating a city Facebook page, is that correct?
But this has nothing to do with that,
Yeah,
the city
nothing.
Facebook page.
Well, if you're gonna use, if Sabrina's gonna get on it on a city computer, then how
Then
does
we-
that work?
Then we would be stopped, and that's why we don't have one. That's why we don't have a city council, city website for a Facebook page. We have a city website, but not a Facebook page.
Well, I thought we were creating a city Facebook page.
We've talked
No?
about it, but we're not gonna do it.
Okay, long,
Yeah.
then that's clear. I'm clear.
Then it really wouldn't apply to Facebook unless it's
Well, it's-
specified in our ordinance.
This
And at
this
this
is
point, it's-
coming, this is coming down from the state itself.
I understand, but it
Yeah.
didn't mention
It doesn't
Facebook.
mention Facebook, it's just TikTok.
TikTok.
And those
other-
in that group.
Other social media, yeah. And if you guys need the actual,
I don't know
where it
what
came from,
group
it's
that is.
in our
ByteDance.
TML.
ByteDance Limited is the one who
Yeah.
is the supervision of TikTok.
And this came actually through the TML. Any other discussion? And I have a motion to approve.
You already have a motion.
Yeah, we have-
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Consideration, discussion, and approval for the resolution approving the 2024 tax rate. Can I have a motion?
Can we back up just a second?
Sure.
If I don't vote on that last one that we had,
You can abstain.
3 can still pass it, right?
Yes, that's correct.
I would just as soon be noted as abstain.
Same, okay.
With the social media,
Yes. My son-in-law's the president of TikTok.
Then we should have disclosed that on the conflict
So
of
you have a
interest.
Yeah, it's a conflict of
There's
interest.
conflict.
Well, I just said that.
That's okay. Yeah, that's fine. All right, can we move on to the tax rate?
Yeah.
Consideration, discussion, and approval of the resolution approving the 2024 tax rate. Can I have a motion
A motion.
and a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
No, this is what we've already hashed over last week.
We totally
You know,
did.
It's just a formality, right?
All right, how about a motion to approve?
No, we've already done that. All we need to do is vote.
Okay,
We had, who made the motion? You?
well,
Okay.
that was a
I made
motion
the
to
motion,
open up the
somebody-
discussion, but now we need a motion.
Motion second, and now,
Discussion.
it's motion second, and then discussion, and then vote,
Right.
right?
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Consideration, discussion, approval of the 24-25 city general operating budget with revisions made during the September budget meeting. Can I have a motion
I'll make the motion.
and a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Lots. Okay, so we took the,
What the hell is it?
on the insurance, from what I was told, where it says down there, total 6100-07 insurance. It's got $21,920 there. That's for us to pay for insurance. but we should come out 3,000, around 3,000 to the good there, which will raise our bottom line on this budget. That right now, we're in the positive of 3,500, that would raise it to 6,500, around in there. In other words, we have something positive going for us here on this revised budget that we have. We also made a change here where we had our city employees, and then we had it separated into maintenance. We combined those two numbers together, and that comes out as just wages instead of city and maintenance. So we don't have a maintenance line anymore. Still money there, but wages to pay people. There was one more thing here. Let's see. We looked it up, and it's on the it's on the other page. It doesn't have anything to do with this, but this money that we have allotted for wages, okay, that's 60,000 on the city side, and there's 60,000 also on the public works side, okay? So that's a total of 120. We also have a line there that's not on this page, on this paper, but we do have an allotted in our budget for to pay the taxes, their federal our match on their federal withholding and stuff. We have that there.
Yeah, 940, 941 taxes.
Where is it?
It's on there.
It's combined, payroll taxes.
Where is it in here?
6,100.
Oh, there it is, payroll taxes. Okay, so that 5,000's there, and it's also on the other one. So we have $10,000 in our match for the payroll taxes. So I was a little bit confused there, so I'm just going to explain it to everybody so that way we have more money allotted. In other words, instead of 120,000 allotted, we actually have 130 because we have 10,000 built in tax money. Okay, so that we're going to pay. So we have dedicated $130,000 for wages. I don't think I can drag this out any longer.
Any more discussion?
I've still got a little bit of a discussion. Why is it now we're into the second month after this is done and we still have line item corrections? Were these corrections made today? Were these made, I mean, certainly they were made.
This single sheet was actually updated today. The biggest problem, Jeff, in my opinion, we should have never tried to do the budget during a city council meeting. It should
Agreed
have
on
been
that.
all done during the budget meetings.
The reason why it was done like that is because I was having a hard time trying to keep up with what they were changing.
Yeah.
So,
There was
the
way.
one with the red marks is what I came up with.
Okay.
What Jim had.
And then from what I
Then
had,
I got Janet to do that one right there.
Okay, so this is the one that's more the accurate.
And then the one that I gave you before we started the meeting is the one that she updated today. Anything that had a zero balance, anything that had a zero balance, she took out, so it's no longer a line item on the new one.
So this is the creme de la creme.
Yes.
That's right. She did it today.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Thank you
So
for that.
this should be correct. And if anybody, I mean, I'm just hoping that everybody's looked over it well. I mean, because I did, and I can't see us being anything but more positive on our bottom line at the bottom.
Absolutely.
Because we're going to gain money in places. We're going to gain money in my department, I hope. Okay? We're going to gain, in other words, just because we have budgeted so, this much money doesn't mean we have to spend it all. So we should, what we budgeted seems fair and seems like we have plenty budgeted. So to cover our expenses that we need to
as long
cover.
as we all stay within our budget, we'll be fine.
And that's barring any kind of disaster or anything. I mean, we don't know. If pine beetles move in, we're going to have a problem. But we should be good
Any
with the
more,
budget that we have.
any more discussion?
For all those who put into this since the last meeting, good job. Because that was a cluster.
That was terrible.
Yeah, it was.
We should have never done that.
We should learn from that, for sure.
We may have to go back and talk about the past. Again, nobody likes to talk about the past, but next year at the budget meeting, we may have to talk about
Yeah.
the
Remember
past
when?
budget meeting. We can't do that again.
All right,
Remember,
so any
if you
more
think about it,
discussion,
I mean,
or
just
can we
for-
approve this as it's written?
Hang on, what did he say?
No, I was just gonna compliment you. We're better this year than we were last year. If you remember last year, we had no idea what we were doing.
We're almost 2
And
years.
as a
Getting more
result,
better.
we ended up with a kind of sterile budget that we had trouble living with.
Yeah, but I think we got the numbers right now.
No, I do, I like what we.
I do.
I mean-
I like it a lot.
So,
Thank you for all the hard work.
Any more discussion? All right. So
We
we're
got to
gonna-
vote on it.
I'm working on it.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't
It's
know.
okay.
I thought I was fixing to adjourn the
Nope,
meeting,
no,
so
no.
go ahead.
All in favor of approving the budget as written?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn the meeting.
Don't want to do any reports?
Oh, wait, yeah, we got to do it.
Hang on there, Grasshopper.
Go
I
ahead.
mean, 5 minutes.
Get out of here,
Yeah.
Lightning.
All right,
I want to go get my car.
Bud, we'll start off with you. Give us a report or pass the report on to somebody else.
Well, I want to say that the flower beds got done that the city council wanted to do. They voted, said, let's do it. So we did it. And I want everybody to know that we well got our money's worth on that. It ended up taking him a lot more rock than he thought it was going to take him. It took him 2 days instead of 1. He had 4 guys out here working. I mean, if he made any money, it is very minuscule. So, but he did that because he told me today. I talked to Keith today, and he said, I don't live out there, but I want that place to look good, And I hope everybody's noticed that when we started with Keith, the other guy had left and the grass was this tall and we were in panic mode, because the grass was growing, it was raining, it was hot summertime. And he had to work this down. And now we're down to where we're kind of like a golf course out there. I mean, it looks good. And he'll be back November the 1st to mow it again. So,
He's a good guy.
we've
Yeah, he
upgraded,
is.
we're spending more money on it than we spent,
But you're getting more mows.
but we're
Get a better
getting
service.
more.
Much better service.
It's just not even the same. It's not the same.
Has he given you a date or an approximate time on when he was gonna make that second cutting of that, retention pond?
No. I mean,
It's gonna be a wintertime project.
Yeah, the second cutting on the retention pond,
Yeah.
I would guess that since that's mowing, probably when he does, I'll ask him, but probably when he comes in November, I would say while he's got his lawnmowers out here, he'll
Well,
mow
I mean, I
that.
thought he was gonna have to bush hog it again.
If he has to bush hog it again, he's gonna pay for it. I mean, because I told him, he had to
Yeah,
bush
yeah.
hog it and get it to where he could use his lawnmower.
Okay.
And he said, okay, well, then I'll pay the guy if I need to brush hog it again. So it might look better now to him, since he was gonna have to pay that guy. So he may say,
He
well,
may
I
be able to mow it
can,
now.
maybe
It's
I can
amazing
go ahead
how
and
that
mow
Raise
it.
my mowers a little.
So,
Nice, yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, is it getting high?
I hadn't looked at it in a while. It looks good. Actually, I think that, just as a technicality, that's a detention pond, not a retention pond.
Yeah, and, it is. And, we also adjusted, Jim's budget to cover the mowing of that couple of acres that we have down there that's vacant. We're gonna mow it twice a year. We got a price for that. I think it was $800 for 2 times. 400 apiece, that was cheap. And, what else was it? Something else? You had to add something else to yours?
No, I mean, that was, you and I talked about that in the office some, but that's just good. That's
We
all.
added something else though too. What else did we
Well, he
add?
was gonna mow around the edges of the fence, but I think you already.
And we added that in there too.
Yeah.
Because we approved that, we approved cleaning out around that fence because the weeds and the trees are knocking the fence down, and it's a high dollar fence. It's a nice fence. and it's grown up on the outside of it. The previous guy didn't mow around it,
Yeah.
and so it's grown up. Trees are growing into it. It's a cyclone fence with barbed, you know, it's nice, and we don't want to let it get tore up. So we approved that a year ago for that guy to do that, so it's grown another year.
Yeah.
Okay, now, that's gonna be the wintertime project, like Gary said, that's gonna be the wintertime project that he's gonna do. He's gonna go out there and clean that up, but we had already approved that money, but we didn't spend it last year because we didn't have anybody to pay to do it. So Jim is adjusting his budget to pay for that cleaning up also, because that's part of the water part and not the city part. So that was the two things that got adjusted, but he's done a really good job, and he's doing a good job, and he said he's gonna be trimming some limbs, some low-hanging limbs and stuff, in the wintertime. He's not gonna just abandon this place in the wintertime like we previously had, but we weren't paying the guy in the wintertime, okay? We're paying him now. We're paying him year-round, okay? So you'll see him out here during the wintertime, I hope.
But he's still not making a whole lot of money.
No.
I'm just telling you, I went over all this mowing with Bud, and it was mind-boggling, the amount of mowing that they have to do out here. I had no idea.
And they start early in the morning.
Yeah.
It starts before daylight.
Mm-hmm.
And they mow and mow and mow and mow, and I wouldn't do it for that amount of money. He does this for a living, and you wouldn't do it for that.
No.
We're getting a
quit
smoking
that a long
deal.
time
That's
ago.
good stuff.
And he's gonna be, like I say, he's gonna be here year-round. He's got his stuff together. He does pine wood. Pine wood always looks nice. I mean, he does a good job. He's gonna start onward with my thing. We're getting prices on the abandoned houses to move forward. We have 4 now that we can legally move forward on and work on. I talked to him today about it, and I told him, I said, we don't want to try to do all these at once, okay? Let's do one so you can get your foot on the ground and see what it's going to cost to do these, because once you tell us a price, we're going to hold you to that price. And so if you do one and you say, well, man, this is costing, and I believe this guy, I trust this guy. I have no reason not to trust this guy. So if he does one and it's man, I didn't charge enough for that one, so this next one is going to be this much money, because I didn't realize I had to haul all this, or do all this. But on the other hand, I talked to him today, and I told him I'll hold you to, if it's less work than what it is, then, I'm going to expect it to be less than what, you predicted that it would be. So, and I believe he'll do that. Now, does he need to make money? Absolutely. He's got to make some money or he can't operate. So I'm not trying to hold him to not making any money, but I think he'll treat us fairly. And like I said, he's proud of this place. He's trying to keep up with it.
Thank you, thank you.
I don't know if there's any other things that anybody's got that we can do or that we can ask to do. Jim said about the retention pond. I don't go down there, so I don't really look at that too much. But
Well, good job on the landscaping. Y'all got that done in a hurry.
2 days.
Did you had a question about water source? Was that for the up front?
That was because Bud didn't turn the hydrant on out there in the front, and that's on a separate meter. Okay, and I thought we had to turn this meter on to make that water go out over there. Well, apparently when they did that flower bed out there in the front, when this park was done, this man donated this property, by the way, over here for this park. Mr. LaRousse did. And he has a sign out there which we're going to clean up and hopefully get fixed. He gave us the property. So when they did that flower bed in the front out there, in that little flower bed by the sign, when they did that, they did it right. They put a sprinkler system in out there, and I saw this green thing there beside it, but it was full of mud, and that shot. the sprinkler system, but there's also a little white pipe sticking up with a faucet on it. Well, I didn't bother to try it, you know, so I was trying to get Sabrina to get them to turn the water on there, and when I turn the nozzle on, it comes flying out of there, you know. I'm like, well, we already got water here, you know, so.
So you got water everywhere you need it then?
We don't have water in the front, by our sign in the front. We put some knockout roses in the front. We put some different plants in there. We got rid of the big ones. There's no water there in the front. So Charlie has been watering. I'll talk with Charlie and see what we can do about maybe trying to, during this drought, that's all that Keith was worried about, was during the drought, us keeping those plants watered.
Did we ever talk about the fire department, having the fire department?
No, I never,
See if they would do it when they go get diesel?
I almost said I didn't have time. But that would be misconstrued as a poke at somebody. So,
It looks good though, I mean.
but anyway, we could get, if we can, yeah.
Good start.
I can ask Chris if they go to gas up there, if they go to put diesel in one of their trucks or something, if they'll, because that's what they do at Pinewood. They spray some water.
We put it all, call out to everybody when they ride by there, throw a cup of water out the window.
We could do that. About 3 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be good.
get some response.
I'm not
You
gonna
do it?
approve that.
All right, sorry.
Okay, that was
Gary,
another.
Scratch that from the record.
Ma'am?
Do you have anything, or Bud talked about everything that we were gonna talk about?
Have mercy.
You talked to Mike
Have
about my
mercy.
stuff.
So, everything is really good in my world, but what I would like to touch on just briefly, and I don't know if I'm at liberty to say this or not, but, you know, Doug is in the hospital. And, I don't think I'm allowed to say what's wrong with him. I don't know.
No,
No, you know.
But at any rate,
not good.
we need to keep Doug in our prayers.
I meant to say that in my report, and I forgot, but I didn't write it down. But go
Yeah,
ahead.
but
Glad
that's,
you thought of that.
I'm just saying, we need to keep him in our prayers. We really do.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on out here that a lot of people don't know about, and I'll say this, I went to Barbara's house this morning, and it was like old times, okay? So, I mean, and I told them that if they needed anything, not to hesitate to call, you know, because he's not able to do anything for I don't know how long. So houses and things keep going, breakers keep flipping, stuff keeps happening, light bulbs need to be changed. So, I mean, I just, you know, whatever we can do to help that family, I mean, that's.
So will they reach out to the office or reach out to you personally, or who? I mean, they just need to reach out and let us know, because there's a wealth of
That's right.
resources out
We
here.
need to, we need
And he's
to.
also a Mason, so the Mason, Tony across the street from me, the Mason brothers, so that's
Okay.
how I get some of my information on him.
Good.
They can definitely, or should be part of everything is to help out.
Yep.
When needed.
That's good to know,
Good.
too.
Yeah,
Okay.
Barbara's calling me too. just about
Okay.
everything.
Okay.
What else you
They're
got?
all trying to work with them too.
Good.
Well, we just didn't put it on that,
Doesn't need to be public.
doesn't need to be, but I mean, I guess it could be on the group text of the city,
Yeah,
huh?
you can
If you want to do that, but I mean,
Let's
we don't
just,
have to specify what
be.
it is.
Take Doug out of that group chat so we don't disturb him.
We need,
Something.
well, can you do that, Sabrina? Thank you. Because I'll forget, so.
And so what we can all learn from this is, you know, he used the comment, you know, it was like old times. And we have to have some type of tragedy for it to be like old times.
That's sad.
Don't need to be like that.
No. I mean, that really made me feel like that things that seem important aren't important at all.
But it also, it basically wastes a lot of people's time. You spend all your time stirring up drama for no
Yeah.
reason.
So let's don't lose
You
sight
gotta
of
get
that.
past it all.
I mean, so we were throwing a wake-up call, so maybe we.
Nothing's that
all need to
important.
wake up.
Nothing.
Huh?
Nothing's that important.
No.
Life is temporal.
Yep.
So.
So that's the end of my report.
Jim, you got a report? Nice short.
Just a couple quick things.
Don't say it, Jim.
No, I'm not gonna mention budget. One of the things, and it's actually was in our long-term plan, and it's in our budget, was to replace that overhead door at the water plant. And that door is one of those old spring-loaded doors, if y'all recall, there's a lot of stored energy on those big springs, plus it's kind of wobbly and falling apart. So, and part of our upgrade, we've got a couple of bids to replace that, and they're 60, 80 bucks apart. And I hadn't really looked at them, I just got them handed to me today.
Do y'all use that door a lot?
We're starting to, yeah, we've been doing it in and out here lately.
So you do need a door there?
Yeah, there needs to be a door, because we've gotten some stuff in there that's kind of big.
But are we gonna talk about this at a meeting?
Well, that was, it's kind of one of those things, one of the things you said, if I need to buy a pump, I buy a pump, but this is not something that has to be done. But it's only $2,400. So I will bring it up in a meeting when I decide what we want to do. But I just mentioned to you that that's been kind of part of the plan, and it's kind of one of those upgrade things. We're trying to throw it on that grant that we had a little bit of money left over.
Well, and I'm gonna say this, if we can use grant money, I mean, I think I don't see a problem with it. If it's coming out of the city money, I'm gonna vote against it.
I know,
I'm
it's
just giving
coming
you a
out.
heads up.
It's coming out of Public Works money, and it's in the budget. It is in the budget, so based on that, I'll probably do it. But it's kind of on that ballpark that I'm going to throw it out there. So we'll see what happens. The other stuff, we had a pretty good month last month in water and sewer operation. I'm not going to say
Be
more.
careful.
Last time I did, next month wasn't so good, but.
Knocking on that wood.
We did have a good month. I was shocked.
Just leave it at that, Jim.
It's good. My superintendent I meet with on a, bi-weekly basis now had a knee replacement Monday, and so we probably won't have a meeting with them for another couple of weeks, but, everything's going pretty good. Responded to a comment today, and this is as information, and I'll tell you all this now. I don't respond to Facebook.
No
Because
way.
the data on there, I use Facebook as a source of information. I've mentioned this before. If I see something that needs to be followed up, I'll look into it, but I don't get on Facebook and respond to individuals. If everybody's got an emergency, everybody should know who to call and what to do. If anybody's got any questions, he can call me, and I'll be glad to talk to anybody, one-on-one or on the phone or whatever. But there was something that appeared on there today, and I did get a couple of notes about the fluoride in the water. We do not add fluoride to our water, our regular water. The only additive we put in the water is well water. It's coming from aquifer 400 feet deep. Is chlorine as a disinfectant. We measure the chlorine residuals in that daily. Chlorine residuals can react with minerals that are in there, so there is several TCEQ chemicals and audit items that have to be checked. Fluoride is one of them. Fluoride is audited by the TCEQ every 3 years, and they do the sampling and file it. And the last sample was done in April of this year, and it was well within limits. So if anybody brings that subject up, there was something there about fluoride as a neurotoxin. You got to be careful what you read on Facebook, because anybody can put an article on there saying anything. So there were some studies that excessive levels of fluoride over longer periods of time, like 10x what's in our water system, have some validation of lowering IQs in infants. Now that measurement and all that data is above my pay grade, and how they get that, verify that, I don't know. But Jeff, when you're starting out with IQ like 150, like me and you and Bud are, 7-8 points don't make much
It don't make
difference.
no difference. That's chump change.
Yeah. So we can give those to
Donate.
give those to Gary. No, anyway, that's all. We had a good month at the water plant.
I'm probably the only one in here carrying right now, by the way. Just thought I'd throw that out there.
Our IQ It's something like Darrell Royal once said, potential means the guy ain't done nothing yet. So, IQ is
There's
like
potential.
potential. You ain't
Yeah.
used nothing yet. So, anyway, this could be mine and Gary's last meeting. For the record, we have a whole lot accomplished in the last 2 years. And maybe next meeting we can kind of put that in the record. And I'm not talking about just water operations and sewer operations. We got a lot done in there, but as a city, we have got a lot done. We have got a whole lot more done in the last 2 years than the previous 5 years since Harvey. And then everybody in here should be proud of that.
Absolutely.
And I'm proud to be a part of this council for that period of time. And I hope the people out there, our constituents are too, and recognize the work that you guys have done. So anyway, that's all I got, and we'll keep on keeping on.
Most excellent. Just a couple of things. Getting ready for the Christmas in the Park. We have a tentative plan right now to have a threefer, basically 3 events in one. Scheduled to go down on December the 7th, Saturday. It would be a Christmas in the Park, and it would be similar to what has happened in the past. There have been many people step up that want to revive this, and as long as they want to lead and take the reins on that part of it, that's fine. We're going to just try to coordinate it the best we can. I've never really been a part of it, so it'll be a learning curve for myself. But there's enough interest in it, I think we're going to give it a shot. The second part of that is a Christmas car show. It was very, very popular, and there's been many people that have asked for it. It was not my idea, but we've got a lot of response back for it. And instead of having a entry fee, the fee will be waived with a set amount, probably $50 worth of wrapped, new, unopened gifts for children, boys and girls, and have it wrapped with a name on it, or a boy or a girl on it. And instead of Cars for a Cause, I'm toying around with a name, Cars for a Claus, as in Santa Claus. And we're only going to have 2 meetings between now and then. And if we can pull it all together and stand this thing up, then it'll go forward. But if we see waning participation, then we're not going to do anything halfway. We want it to be right, or we're not going to do it at all. The third part of it would be a chef's choice cooking contest that would go at the same time. And so, to give you a snapshot of that, if Connie has a super good gumbo recipe, and if Audrey has a super good chicken and dumpling recipe, and Sabrina or Stephanie or Bud, whomever, has a brisket or rib recipe, then you would bring your recipe up, and we'd probably have a stipulation that you would provide enough to feed maybe 15 or 20 people. We're not going to ask you to feed a whole bunch, but that would be a net-free event, and the city would only be out the whatever promotion we do for it, which is typically banners. And it could be very generic in nature, no specific dates on the banners, so that they're reusable. We would, in the 2 meetings that we would come up with, the beneficiaries for the money raised, and the beneficiaries where the gifts would go. We're looking for any kind of suggestions. We've had the Angel Tree Kids suggested. Those are children whose parents are incarcerated. My wife and I have supported that for a while, and that's kind of a neat deal. But would take any suggestions whatsoever for a bona fide 501c3, something that we could dig into and make sure that it's legit. And so the money raised would be from our $1 tickets, where Roger would come up and buy $20 worth of our $1 tickets. He'd go to each booth, and for $1, you'd get the sample of Gary's brisket and Stephanie's gumbo, and then you can come back when you decide what you want to buy. You could just then pay for the rest of it with those tickets, and all the money would go towards whichever entity that the team would decide on. So that's kind of what we got up in the works for December. I did have a question, and we may need to just wait for the next meeting, but I had suggested that we take Ordinance 240 out of play until we can rewrite it. But that may not be an issue right now. 240 is the sign issue that's within the city. If you read it, it's designated specifically for peddlers and solicitors and temporary people. And I think it's been misunderstood, certainly misapplied, and it's been a source of grief. So I thought we could suspend the enforcement of that ordinance until that ordinance can be rewritten. Is that something we need to take a vote on? Is that something that I can even bring up right now?
Well, you can't bring it up now because you're out
You have
of
to put
order
it on
with
the
that.
agenda, fill out the form like we discussed.
Okay.
Do it that way.
Point of order. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it's
I don't
what it
know
is.
it. I don't,
Yeah.
we
Okay.
just have to wait.
I'll put it on the agenda for next month.
I would wait until after the election. I mean, next month is going to be after the election, so I would wait for the following, let the new people come aboard.
I just want it to be suspended in enforcement until we can get it done.
I'll see what the legal steps are to actually suspend an ordinance, because it's either you do one or you don't do one. So I don't know if you can actually suspend.
Okay.
So we'll find out.
Okay.
Any other discussions?
Make a
I'm
motion
done.
to adjourn. Oh,
Stag it.
Second? All in favor?
what did I drop some? Marble
Doug
West.
is. Doug Emmons.
No, I know, it's Barbara at the hospital, because I live right next to her.
But she has, her grandmother's there. Her youngest brother.
I turn this thing off.
Push it and hold it.
Push and hold. I just learned that. Now you can let it go.
1001, 1002, 1003. Requires Miller.
You already you're up with me.